Welcome to this look at new mods on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday the 19th of April, it's the end of another week, and boy have we got a doozy for the end of the week. We do have some updates. We've got the map Alma, Missouri, US by Celabuki. That does say that it does not require a new save game, new save slot. Fox Farms by Zoli708 says a new save game is required, a new save slot. Crater Lake 22 by Poor Boy and Catalyzer Industries says an old save should work, but a new save is always recommended. We've then got the Fent 1000 Vario series by Schnibble Modding, the New Holland T7000 series by Blauer, the Lizard 44202 5557 by Axery, the Rolmako U436HP, Rolmako U671 Standard, Rolmako U436 HHP 4.5 pack, all three of those by JMZ. Old Water Trailer by Baki, the Littable Bales Pack by Yoss, the Large Outdoor Chicken Coop by The Lort, Open Air Garden by Omatana. Now that has had a medium and large open air gardens added into it. Grass Drying by The Lort have all had updates. So we've got one mod, a mod pack. And I've always said this, mods when they come out, if something's new, if something's different, if something stands out, that excites me. I like that kind of stuff. This is awesome. Now, if you've been to any, if you're into farming, you've probably read about stuff like this before. If you've been to any farming shows, any sort of big things like Llama, like Agritechnica, anything, these things have been knocking around. This is the Widespan vehicle system by Dogface and BDBSSB. It is 32.14 megabytes download. Now, it does say in the description for this, and the description is comprehensive. It explains all about the vehicles, how they work, their advantages, why they're being used for farming, key advantages and those kind of things. And it does say in the description that they're hoping to bring implements for this. Future Wsvs implement packages are planned, which will be absolutely fantastic if they do. So what do we have in this pack? We've got the tractor unit, which is this here, 19 slots. We'll have a look at the details and the options for this. We've then got the, well, this isn't even the harvester. I suppose this technically is the harvester. This is the Wsvs HV23, 11 slots, 23,000 litres capacity. This is basically an auger wagon. It's an auger wagon with a header attachment on it, which attaches onto the tractor unit, which is very cool. Now these are very big, as you can see. That goes in a nice straight line for going down the road, but it does change, and we'll see that in a moment. But what this also comes with over here is the hook lift trailer. So the hook lift trailer's got two hooks on the side which come out, which hook up to this harvester unit, which then hooks onto that when you're in the field. Now it does also say in the description for this that this will work with, it says recommended headers are the John Deere HD45X, John Deere C16F, or any 13 metre header or corn header. So I thought, well, I'll go for a corn header. Then I thought, oh, there's the Helianthus headers. So I've got a Helianthus header a bit further up for doing sunflower, but it, like I say, it will work for large headers. Now I haven't tried it on small headers. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work on small headers, but the point behind this being, because of the width of it, and the whole point is it spans a big width and goes down the field that way, you're supposed to be using big headers. And because the wheels and the wheel track are out wide on this, once it's turned sideways, reduces compaction, less tyre tracks across the field, that kind of thing. If you were to put a small header on this unit, which like I say, I don't see any reason why you couldn't, but then you're negating the point, because what you would be doing, if your header is narrower than this unit, then you're having to overlap your tyre tracks each time you do a run up and down the field to cover for the header. So that's just something to be aware of, but it's entirely up to you. So let's start off with in-out vehicles under tractors, large tractors. Out on the end, the Wsvs TR13, 395 grand for the base unit. Slot count comes down from 19 to 1,156 horsepower. We've got EU with the squared hazard signs, or the US version, just takes those off. Design colour, let's go with yellow. So all of that is your design colour. Main colour, let's go red. So all of that is your main colour. And then rim colour option, anything on that palette there. But we do have at the top there the chrome, we do have a stainless steel, and then move on to colour options after that. So that's your options. Then there's a license plate option on there as well. We then come from there and we go to under miscellaneous. 75 grand for the Wsvs HV23. As I said, 23,000 litres. Now when I said it's an auger wagon, it will do your main crop types. It won't do seed and fertiliser. I mean, it's a harvester. At the end of the day, it's designed for harvester headers. Slot count will come down from 11 to 1. Main colour, anything on that palette. Don't know why we're in grey, that's weird. Design colour does those bits around the back, so whatever design colour you go for, we'll change those at the back. Those are your options on that, and then we go from there to our hook lift trailer, which I think was under trailers, 39,000. Slot count comes down from 8 to 1. We've got the option of main colour, which does that section, and rim colour, like so. And then we have a license plate option on there as well. We can't change the front sort of headache rack, that stays as it is. Those are the 3 component parts. Now what's very cool, so let's have a look around this, because it is just a staggering piece of equipment. Now this has got quite the turning circle on it, so that's something to bear in mind. If you're looking at doing maps with small fields and stuff, this is not what this is designed for. It's unfortunately, let's jump into the cab. So, start up. Horn. Lighting is quite impressive. Beacons. Interior. It tells you the sort of level of complexity of this vehicle when you look down there at the control screen. Whoa, okay. But very cool. There's no doors or windows that open, but what we do have, we can change our steering, so we can toggle it from all-wheel steer to front-wheel steer. Those are the 2 options, no crab steering and all that. And then we change driving direction, so when you're coming up on your harvester unit, you want to come onto it perpendicular, straight on, like that. And then change driving direction. And this is where things get really cool. What I love, actually, let's go back to that, so you can see that. Put that back. Right, so it puts these legs down, which allows for the lifting. So it puts those legs down, lifts it just a little bit to turn those wheels, drops it back down, then the whole thing turns. It's just, is that not just awesome? So there's our all-wheel steer, and there's our front-wheel steer. So whichever you'd rather go for. Now, like I said, it is a big old unit. And lining it up might be a little bit tricky, especially if you're one for realism and you're doing all-in cab. It's tricky to see for lining up, I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to come outside. Then what we'll do, we'll line up like that, and that's how you hook up to it. We'll do that in a moment, because what I want to show you first is how do we get that entire unit out to the field. I just oh, it's so cool. Right. So, extend arms on the hook lift. I had originally had it lined up so it was as accurate as it could be for, I think we want to be about here. There we go. So, attach. Bit of a bump. I'm surprised actually the trailer doesn't have support legs that come down or something, because that's a lot of weight to lift onto there. So switch back to that by pressing triangle, retract arm, and the whole unit lifts up. And we are good for transport. Beacons on there as well. And then off we go. Wherever we're going to go, take it back, bring it out, however we're going to go about it. So, reverse of that then, extend our arms. So that's how your hook lift works. Then detach. No, detach the wrong one. attach the trailer, switch to that one, detach that. There we go. Retract our arms and we can move it out of the way. So that's how we... That's curious. Wonder what we were still... Collision somewhere on that. Right, so that's that. Let's jump back into this. So hooking up like that. Whole unit is on, we are good. Then we open up the tank, so unfold harvester does that. Pipe is in like that, but pipe out when you're ready to go. Like that, and there's no option for adjusting that when you're ready to unload. I mean, that sits very high anyway. I can't think of any trailers that are going to be much higher than that. So for adjustment, you should be okay. There's our beacons, and like I said, the lighting around it, that's pretty impressive. So bring that back in. Out of the way. Now, if you're concerned, because it's not a standard harvester, we do still have the option to enable and disable straw swath in the back there. So we can see that. So we can enable. It's not actually showing it doing anything, is it? But the straw swath will still come at the back. That being said, I'm about to do sorghum, so it won't. But you can still straw swath. That's not a problem. So at the moment, great, we're good to go. But we do need a header now, because the whole thing is. There's a lot of component parts. I suppose the difference being a regular harvester, a lot of them have trailer hitches on the back. You can bring the header out with it. You can't disconnect this and load it on with the hook lift with a header attached, because that then sticks out even further. So the header does have to be detached. It can't be transported. And the downside to that being the hook lift trailer itself doesn't have a trailer hitch. So you couldn't run the hook lift with the main unit and then your header attached behind. So you are going to have separate units to bring it out. But again, I mean, it depends how you feel about that. That might not be an issue. You might do separate units anyway, so that's all good. So I'll bring my header into place. And then we'll go over and we'll get the Helianthus header in a minute. Just pop that there. Disconnect and get out of the way. So, header folding. Once we have done that, we have the options that we normally do for adjustment of our header reel, however you want to do that, and we are good to go. We are good for operation. Doesn't it look just incredible? So let's turn on the harvester. Now I've got one that's tight. It doesn't normally go at this speed. It will go at the speed of the header because I've got a Titan Unreal header. That's what's allowing me to run at this speed. And like I said, because the way the tyres are, you need a 13-metre header or wider even, because it will go out further than your tyres, which this one just about does. If you go for a header that's smaller, you'll have to keep turning back over your tyre tracks, which again, in the game doesn't make any difference, but in reality that's the whole point behind it. But it's good to know that if you've got a Titan header on here, this will still run at the speed of the vehicle, which is pretty. Look at that. That's not something you see every day. But what I will say though is your harvesting is such a different perspective, looking out to the side. But how many times have I said about not being able to see where the header is? But even like this, you can't see past the steering wheel to the edge where you would be able to want to see if you're running along the other edge of the field, and that one's quite a long way out. So even that, in real life you just be able to lean forward a little bit to be able to see. Obviously in game you can't. So that's running it with a normal header. So let's turn that off. Pull that down. I'll just detach that as it is. So that's that. Let's do pipe out. What is cool though, when you turn, when you get to the end of a field, as you just saw then, get to the end of the field, and the turn on this, I mean this just turns on its own. So then you turn and you're straight back round for the next pass. It's incredibly agile in the field, But like I said, as a unit going down the road, because of the length of it, when you're turning in that aspect, if you're driving in that direction, it's a long proposition for turning. So what we'll do now is we'll whiz along. Actually, I didn't bring a trailer out. Oh, I've got one over there, but I've got something else in it. So what we'll do, let's unload here. That's curious, it puts it all out there. Pipe back in, let's go and grab the Helianthus header. And then like I say, corn headers, and hopefully there are going to be packs that are going to come with this. So the Helianthus headers unfortunately aren't as wide, so you'll see what I mean about getting a narrower header. Let's look up to that. Oh, I've left that in the field. That's not good. My thumbnail camera boom. I left it in the field. It's just, I suppose it's just outside. So, turn that on. So I guess one of the questions is going to be, can you hire a worker? Let's do that. Worker has been hired. Looking very cool. And then what we'll see when we get to the end is hopefully, I'm hoping it does turn on a dime with the workers. But you can see what I mean though about if your header isn't wide enough, our tyres are actually driving over the crop. So if you've got crop destruction on, that's not going to help you. So that's another reason, not just for compaction and stuff like that, but as far as how you play the game, the header does really need to be wider than the wheels for it to operate correctly. Because I think what will happen now is it will turn on its axis. I don't know if it will necessarily line the header up. So again, this is the first time I'm using this really. So let's have a look. So will it line up the tyres or will it line up the header? I'm thinking tyres, but maybe not. No? All good. But there you go. That is very cool. So that's it. That's the Wsvs, the Widespan Vehicle System by Dogface and BDBSSB. And that's it. That's the only mod pack we got today. I hope you found this useful, informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Have a wonderful weekend. And thanks for watching.